Hey guys, Josh from soccerreviewsforyou.com, bringing you an unboxing plus on-feet video of the Mizuno Morelia Neo in the black and lime green colorway. Now inside the box, along with the shoes themselves, Mizuno does include a boot bag. This particular boot bag is black in color. You're going to find your gold Morelia Neo branding on the front, as well as a white Mizuno logo there on the back. So we'll get that out of the way, get the shoes out of the box, and if you guys could take a second to leave a like on the video, it would be greatly appreciated. So here is a look at the latest Mizuno Morelia Neo colorway. As far as the color itself goes, it's one of the more subtle ones we've seen from this particular line from Mizuno. It's a predominantly black and white base, as you guys can see, which to me looks really, really good. And then your main accent color is the lime green, which you'll find in the laces, the tongue, the tip of the Achilles tendon guard, your Morelia Neo branding at the back of the heel, as well as the entire outsole. Just one quick note on the lime green color itself. It's pretty subtle as far as lime green colors go, so it isn't quite as flashy in person as you might expect. Not sure how it's going to show up in this video. If you guys are interested in getting a pair of these for yourself, there will be buy it now links in the description of this video, so be sure to go ahead and check that out. And move on next to the technical aspects of the shoe. Of course, if you are looking for more information on the overall performance, be sure to check out the full written review on my website, soccerreviewsforyou.com, which you can find linked in the description of this video as well. And I'll also leave an annotation on screen to my review/playtest video that I made of the Morelia Neo not too long ago. So be sure to go ahead and check out both of those resources if you are looking for more information on the overall performance. Just to break down the technical aspects of the shoe, the upper is part synthetic, part kangaroo leather. That's kind of the main theme of the Morelia Neo, and that it's a lightweight version of the classic Mizuno Morelia, which is essentially Mizuno's comparable model to the Adidas Copa Mundial, if you will. So if you can imagine the Morelia Neo as a lightweight version of the Copa, that's essentially what this shoe is. So then from the midfoot back, you're going to find that the shoe is made from a synthetic leather material. It's relatively thin and not necessarily the same in terms of feel when it comes to the kangaroo leather at the front. The kangaroo leather is from this seam right here, moving forward all the way around the forefoot and toe box, cutting off at about this seam right here. So there isn't a ton of kangaroo leather on the shoe. What is there is decent in terms of quality. It does require a little bit of break-in time to start to soften up and feel nice and comfortable. For the most part, it does allow for a nice custom fit at the front of the shoe. My one complaint would be that there just isn't enough of it on the boot itself. So you're going to get that nice, soft, comfortable fit at the top, at the front of the shoe, I should say, while the midfoot is going to have a little bit more of a snug fit, and you're going to be a lot thinner in terms of feel in comparison to that front part of the shoe. The tongue is predominantly made from leather, which is a positive thing, and you're also going to have an open mesh area right here at the top of the toes, allowing for some additional ventilation, which isn't a very common type of feature on a soccer shoe for the most part. What's cool about this shoe in terms of unique features is the central lacing system that has this kind of zigzag staggered lacing system. You can see the lace holes are in this kind of zigzag pattern. So when you actually do tie the laces tight, it holds the laces in place really, really nicely, doesn't allow them to loosen, and it just makes for a very secure fit overall. One of my favorite aspects of this shoe, definitely. You can have a fairly unique, almost straight cut here at the ankle. It is a little bit lower cut, and then you have this extended kind of tab here for your Achilles heel. For the most part, it does a good job of keeping your heel locked in place. The internal liner is predominantly made from a suede material, so it is very soft. There's not a ton of padding there, but what is there is just enough to keep you nice and comfortable, and like I said, locked inside of the shoe. The insole is fully removable. You're going to find your Morelia Neo branding there at the heel, and then the liner on top is kind of like a almost roughed up mesh material. It really does a good job of keeping your sock kind of glued to the insole, preventing any kind of slippage. And it's definitely an insole that I find to be really, really effective, and wish that more companies would utilize this type of material, because it really does help to make for a more responsive and less slipping on the inside of the shoe. You're also going to find that it is made from a one single piece of foam. There's not too much padding here, although it definitely is a lot thicker than what you're going to find from comparable models like the Adidas F50 Adizero, which is a shoe that this shoe draws a lot of comparisons to, mainly due to the outsole, which is part of the reason why this shoe is so light. As you guys can see, you're going to have a one-piece external heel counter that flows right into the sole plate. It's a very similar design to Adidas's sprint frame construction found, like I said, on the F50 Adizero, but for the most part feels a lot different and performs a lot differently. That external heel counter is more or less the same. It's a very similar shape, provides some decent protection as well as keep your heel locked in place when you are making quick lateral cuts. Whereas the bottom of the shoe, the plastic itself is made from a little bit softer, more flexible type of plastic than what you're going to find on the sprint frame. So it does have a more natural, slightly more traditional feel in comparison to the F50, which is something that I personally prefer. I also find that this particular layout is a little bit more rigid through the midfoot, which again is a positive to the Morelia Neo. Now the stud pattern, as you guys can see, is a lot different. It's a lot more traditional as well. You're going to find all conical studs, 4 on each side in the forefoot, 1 bladed support stud in the middle, and then of course your 4 kind of bladed / conical stud hybrids in the heel. For those of you guys that have watched my videos for a little bit longer, you know that the newer colorways of the Morelia Neo have a slightly modified heel stud type of shape whereas the older colorways had more of a traditional conical stud. Really doesn't make for a big difference in terms of overall performance, but something that I thought was worth mentioning. Something that I also thought was kind of cool and something that most people don't realize about this shoe is that the studs are angled a little bit towards the outside, almost like negative camber on a car. Hopefully you guys can see that, and that is a design that is by design. It's not that the sole plate is warped or anything like that. They wanted to allow for as much stability as possible, so because those studs are angled out, if you realize when you actually step down and you're actually running, you're almost never stepping completely flat, or at least you're probably not stepping completely flat. So by angling the studs a little bit towards the outside, you're going to have optimal traction no matter which way that you step down and no matter which way that you twist and turn. So kind of a cool little concept by Mizuno. It's hard to say if it actually has a noticeable effect in terms of overall performance, but nonetheless, like I said, a very cool feature that only Mizuno would really think of. So that's pretty much it as far as all the tech specs on the shoe itself. And move on next to a quick weigh-in so you can see how lightweight these guys are. As you might expect, the Morelia Neo is very, very lightweight, both in hand and on feet. So I'm going to weigh this pair for you today in real time. Keep in mind that this is a brand new pair in a size 9 US. We're going to throw it on the scale, and you can see that these guys weigh in at a very light 6.6 ounces. So for comparison's sake, that is about 0.2 ounces lighter than the current leather F50 Adizero from Adidas. Not a dramatic difference in weight, not even something you're going to notice either in hand or on feet, but a difference nonetheless. So overall, if you are looking for an ultra lightweight feel from your soccer shoes with a little bit of kangaroo leather, the Mizuno Morelia Neo can definitely deliver on that. So move on next to a quick on feet so you can get a better idea as to how these shoes fit and what the sizing is like. Alright, here's a look at the Morelia Neos on feet, and from right out of the box, these shoes are pretty comfortable and more or less ready to go. The one thing that is worth noting is that the kangaroo leather at the front of the shoe, while it is soft and flexible from right out of the box, give it a couple hours of wear time and you'll find that it stretches and forms to the exact shape of your foot, making for an even more comfortable feel. In terms of width, this is a fairly tight fitting shoe, so if you do have wider feet, it's probably best to stay away from the Morelia Neo, as it is with most lightweight soccer shoes. Synthetic through the midfoot does have a slightly tighter fit, whereas the forefoot area is made from leather. It's not quite as tight, and like I said, does have that ability to stretch, but for the most part, like I said, the midfoot is very, very tight, so if you do have a wider foot, it's probably best staying away from the Morelia Neo. In terms of sizing, I'm wearing my usual size 9 US here, and the fit and the length is absolutely perfect. So if you are looking to order a pair of these for yourself, I would strongly recommend going true to size. So that's pretty much it as far as the on-feet portion of this video, and I'll leave you to my final thoughts. Alright guys, that's it for my unboxing of the Mizuno Morelia Neo. This is a great alternative to the leather F50 Adizero if that's just not your cup of tea, or even if you're just looking for something a little bit different. The quality of the leather is definitely better on the Morelia Neo in comparison to the F50, and as I showed you guys, it's even a little bit lighter. So if you're looking for that lightweight feel, not necessarily a traditional feeling soccer shoe, but a lightweight shoe with some leather, the the Morelia Neo is definitely something to consider. If you guys are interested in getting a pair of these for yourself, be sure to refer to the review page on my website, soccerreviewsforyou.com. Again, links down below in the description. If you have any questions regarding this shoe, feel free to leave a comment down below as well, and I definitely will get an answer out to you. If you enjoyed today's video, be sure to support it with a like. Subscribe if you haven't already for daily videos on all the latest soccer gear. You can find all of my social media information down below in the description. And other than that, hope you enjoyed today's video, and as always, thanks for watching.